Hello again, listeners, and welcome back to the Kotu Classic FPL podcast. I'm your host, Bruce, and as usual, I have my co-host Chama. Chama, naka mo deme?
Well, all good. This week, mo mange smile. You made it a hunger.
Yeah, I can see
I'm
that. I can
smiling
see.
well.
So FPL is back on track for you, I guess, huh?
Yeah,
Finally, you can see that
yeah,
kickstarted the season.
definitely. My season has finally kickstarted. I have a decent game week. I finally, beat my hodu of like 50 points. Now I can, kick on, bring it
That's good.
on.
It was just a matter of time.
Yeah, definitely. You said that.
Yeah. So today we're gonna record game week 5 and 6, the combined preview. Um, Apparently we kind of missed that there was a midweek. So things are coming thick and fast from now on until maybe when the World Cup starts, I guess. So
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
going to be interesting. So guys, please don't be like us. Don't miss midweek games because it's going to be interesting. Your FPL careers might be on the line.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. I cannot agree
I
more.
know. So
With the Champions League also coming in and the
yeah,
European
Champions League is going to be
competitions, yeah,
crazy.
it's gonna
Yeah,
be crazy.
it's going to
Right
be
now, I
crazy.
think it's gonna be like every other week and midweek, and there's
Mm.
the international breaks coming up. So yeah, it's gonna be very, very hectic again, like we had
Mm-hmm.
in the latter stage of last season. So yeah, guys, brace yourselves and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's go.
Get ready for the ride. So jumping in game week 4 review. Let's look at some results and reactions.
Yeah, it was another crazy week of football, right?
Well, if you look at the scores, it's just 2-1, 1-1, and there are only two games where there were more than two goals scored, or more than three goals scored actually, which is the the, the routing of Bournemouth. They think they were beaten like thieves in the 9-0.
Yeah,
from from the second minute they were being scored like left, right, and center. I saw the game and they were defensively terrible, to be honest. It's like
yeah,
wow, this
yeah,
like every
definitely.
time Liverpool gets the ball, they seem like they want to score or they almost scored.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Liverpool came with a purpose. They
mhm,
haven't had the start that everybody expected them to have. So yeah, and I usually this is what I usually expect. Like if we have a bad game, there is a reaction, and yeah, Liverpool came out and then reacted very well. So it was good day at the office for Liverpool. It was a good day at the office for myself. So yeah, all good. But you guys kicked off the week with your win against Southampton after
yes.
beating Liverpool on Monday. So that was a big win for you guys because the question was the mystery was, are Man United gonna follow up that big performance against Liverpool with another good performance or a win against Southampton? That's all you needed, right? And you guys did it with a clean sheet as well. One of the players like Diego Dallo, he got the assist. He got the maximum bonus point in the game, 11 points. That was massive.
Mhm.
I think I have, yeah, I think I have kind of questioned his, attacking abilities or stuff like that. But his numbers are looking very good, and he could be somebody we should be looking at as the season progress. But what did you make of your performance? Did you see the game?
I've always backed my Dallo, I think, since last season. But defensively, no. But attacking wise, I think there's something there. But before we move on to Man City and Southampton,
Yeah,
we need to just confirm some few things from Liverpool.
yeah,
A 9-0, if you are watching the game and not watching the game, but if you were on your phone and getting alerts, oh, 1, 2, 3, the goals going in, you would like, oh, this is going to be like a good day for my captain Salah.
yeah.
And then you open up the scores and then you see Salah is not involved in any of the goals.
Yeah, it is
That can
absolutely
be
mental. It's
it
absolutely
can be
mental.
very depressing, to be honest. Like I was like, wow, this is going to be a good day for Salah captainers because I captain him obviously because now we kind of have a few like options to captain. You have Kane, you have Haaland, you have Salah. They're big players there, So the captaincy spread might be a bit, varied. But I mean, 9-0 and Salah is not involved. It has people talking, but I think we'll probably get there in the next few topics. But Southampton, Manchester, like this game is always a tough game for us. Like, and after winning you guys a moral booster, the thing we were expecting was how do we react because it's a derby against you guys. We are expected to turn up and give a performance of our life, but then also against a normal team that let's say mid-range team or a smaller team. Like how do we respond if we are the bigger team? And they did well defensively. I think they did well. Even attacking wise, it wasn't much clicking there because we had a few changes. Rashford was in attack and he didn't look too good. But defensively, we did well.
Yeah,
And I think,
absolutely.
yeah, it's good to build at the back to have your defense. And then, the midfield is better now with Casemiro coming in. And now we already signed a new winger from Ajax, Anthony. And
Mhm.
things are looking good. We just need a striker. I feel we need a striker if Ronaldo is going to leave, if he might leave. But if it's staying, it's fine. But if he's leaving, we need a striker because I
Yeah.
don't think we will do well with what we have right now.
Yeah, definitely. But also, it's worth mentioning Bruno Fernandes. He haven't scored in a very, very long time,
Bruno, yes, yes,
and
he
he got
hasn't
he
in
got
a
the only
while.
goal in that game. He was
Mm-hmm.
very much involved in the game. He had a lot of
Well
shots.
taken goal, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well taken goal to be honest. The pass
Mm-hmm.
was very, well drilled pass. So it's usually not easy to finish those kind of,
Mm-hmm.
crosses, but he took it
Yeah.
with a plumb. And with Ronaldo now not in the team, we know that means Fernandes is back because the
Yeah,
penalties will go
Fernandez,
back
yeah.
will
Yeah.
go back to Bruno Fernandes. I know we are not paying too much attention to him because of he has not been in the form
Performance
that,
and the
yeah,
price,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But after that performance, I think he's somebody we should, add into our white list. But I think it was a very good performance from United, professional performance, and yeah, that was it. But yeah, you spoke about Salah, boy. Like it's crazy, right? It's crazy for
It's never
Liverpool.
happened before, has it? I don't think it
No,
has.
no, no.
It's
Yeah,
happened
like
enough.
we never scored nine actually. So in the Premier League, this is the first time we
Oh,
scored
okay. Oh,
nine.
wow.
So yeah, it never happened definitely. But usually when Liverpool score 4 goals, when Liverpool score 3 goals, Salah is involved. At least he will get an
Mm-hmm.
assist or something like that. But to get 18 attacking returns in the game and Salah not have a single one, yeah, it is very very strange. But for me, I'm not gonna overreact to it. I just take it as it was just like not his day because if you look at it, I only Firmino had better numbers than him. His underlying numbers were much better. Even
Okay.
Diaz, Salah took 4 shots. He had 2 big chances in the game. He had 2 easy chances, which normally he will convert, but he did not. So yeah, I think it's just like not his day. So that's how I'm gonna interpret that one. Yeah, I'm not gonna overreact to that.
It's Salah. But if the important thing is Liverpool are back,
Hmm.
firing on all cylinders. That's the most important thing. And he's one of their best attacking players. We all know this. So I think it's just one of those freak results that happens, and we hope it doesn't happen again. You know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Um, Another one, Man City, Crystal Palace. It's always nice when you see your enemies suffering. When I saw the first 2 goals going for Crystal Palace, I was like, yeah, nice. It's good. It's
Yeah.
a good game. I hope they lose, but then they rallied back as
Manchester,
they
it's
always
Manchester
do.
City, man. It's Manchester City.
It's
They're gonna create
with
they're
a
gonna
hat trick
create
for
chances.
Haaland. It's yeah, it's one of those. But it's Man City anyways. We all know that they're capable of it, even though they concede. That's one thing that I think we're gonna talk about when we talk about my transfers.
Yeah, yeah.
One is they concede, and for players of um like the Cancelos and some of these players in their team that cost that much, it doesn't
Yeah,
make any sense. But if you look at it, the trend, I don't have any numbers to back it up, but for the past 3 seasons, they started the season not too well in terms of defense. They conceded a lot of goals, but then as the
yeah.
season progressed, somewhere between the middle of the season or between the middle of the season, they start picking up defensive like clean sheets. They prioritize their defense, but in the beginning they want to outscore you. They don't really, I
Mm.
don't think they really focus on defense. But then after they start keeping their clean sheets consistently for like 10, almost the last season they kept about 10 or something clean sheets.
More than that.
So I think, yeah, looking at you know Trent and Cancelo and all these players, I don't think it's necessary to have two or big at the back. We always knew that when you were starting in the beginning of the season, you said big at the back. The value is in defense, but it doesn't look so much now, anyways. So
Mhm. Yeah, sorry.
dwelling on that, yeah. What do you have to say against for any of the other results that jumps out
No,
at
but
you?
yeah, like let me just say a thing or two about the City. Yeah, for me, I think I keep saying this. They are the best defensive
Yeah,
team
I
in the
think
league.
so.
They are the
Mm-hmm.
best defensive team in the league, and they still are the best defensive team in the league. Yes, in the last 2 games, it didn't go well, but also this is the issue what happens when you have injuries, changing your players. In defense, we see in the last 2 game weeks, Ake started the game against Newcastle. He got injured. Stones came on, and no, actually Diaz came on because it was Stones and Ake who started. Diaz came on for him, and then in the next game it was Diaz and Stones starting. So it keeps changing. So basically, this is what happened basically with Liverpool too at the start of the season. They were keep changing in the first three games, three defensive partnership, and in defense is a position where you want to have
Yeah.
some form of stability.
Fix. Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
but eventually, if it is just about the Manchester City defensive capability and their defensive potential, I have no worries about it. These kind of things happen. They concede goals sometimes. They concede in few games. So eventually they will come good, and eventually they will show that they are the best defensive team in the league. At the moment, they are third. Only Arsenal and Spurs have a better defensive record than them in terms of expected goals considered. They have considered 3.4 xGC compared to Arsenal with 3 and Spurs with 3.1. So that is still a very good number. And we are talking about Man City not being good defensively. It's just that they have considered a few like 5 goals in the last 2 games. But yeah, I have no words about their defensive capabilities, to be honest. But other games, I saw the Arsenal game too. It was very like another professional performance from them. This is a game that they would have drew or lost in the last few seasons, but they came back from 1 goal down. Mitrovic, Gabriel gifted him a very easy goal, and then and he ended up scoring the winner. That was Gabriel. So yeah, like they are kind of matured more. They are maturing into their game. You know, Arteta is maturing into his position. I see some criticism about Arsenal's celebration at the end of the game on beIN Sports, on Sky, on Talk Sport Radio. They were criticizing them for celebrating because they say, okay, Arsenal beating Fulham 2-1. Why do you have to celebrate like this? At the end of the day, for me, the way I see this kind of things is the most important one is the next game. Is the game in front of you. So, and the most important thing is to get the result. They got the result against Fulham. They came from behind. They won. So it deserves a celebration, regardless of which team they are playing. So I
I
didn't
don't know
see
why.
any
Yeah.
problem with that. Yeah.
You
They were
need to.
talking too much like rubbish about Arsenal celebration. It's normal. Like Liverpool celebrated a draw against West Brom. Like up to this day, they are like it is being talked of. Like, you know, sometimes it's about the circumstances that you find yourself in the game and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
how you
Definitely.
react to those circumstances. This is why you celebrate. It's not about the team you are playing against or something. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I love the Arsenal performance in that game, the way they came back, the way they showed character to come back and win that game. Fulham were very organized, very disciplined in that
It
game.
was a difficult
Yeah,
game
it
for
was a
them, to be
difficult
honest.
game for Arsenal, to be honest.
Mm.
Fulham has not been an easy team to play since they came.
Yeah.
We kind of, kind of relegated them already before the season started, but they have really surprised all of us the way they are playing. To be honest, Mitrovic is on top form, and he showed that again in that game. That was an interesting game for me to watch. How any other game?
I think the Chelsea Leicester game also. I watched parts of this game,
Yeah,
and Leicester. I don't know what happened to Leicester. Even Vardy is not really doing the business these
yeah.
days.
Throwing
Yeah.
chances. That's my
Yeah.
like.
I
How
don't
many
know
chances did
what's
he have
going.
in that game? I think he
I
had
don't know what's going on.
a lot of big chances. I will just confirm that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Chelsea they scored 2 goals, but I don't know. The creativity is not there. Even though Sterling scored two, it might look like they cruise to this game, but honestly, it's not the Chelsea of last season. Maybe I might just be talking um, biasly, But honestly, I kind of feel like they need to sort out their defense. But apparently, they're almost signing Fofana from Leicester, who didn't play the game. But if they do, I guess maybe Reece James will be pushed forward because he's one of the better attacking players right now. Because
Yeah,
Mount is not firing on all cylinders. He's been woeful, to be honest,
yeah.
in this start of the season. So they need a creative spark somewhere. And when James attacks, it's like everything falls into place. Kai Havertz too is not having the time of a good start of the season.
Yeah.
So I also feel that they need a striker, like an actual striker, and Sterling might be another creative hub because right now I feel like the creativity rests solely on him
Mm-hmm.
um, and Reece James. So
Yeah,
I don't know, but I'm hopeful. I think that they will get back to being Chelsea. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Vardy, he had three big chances in that game. It was the same number as Haaland and Firmino. We did not talk much about Firmino, but his performance in that 9-0, like 2 goals, three
But
assists, 22 FPL points, came
we
out
all
of
know
nowhere.
Firmino.
Yeah,
We
of
all know
course, he's
Firmino.
not an FPL asset. He's not somebody you should target, but that was just some performance from him.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
after getting a lot of criticism, especially after
yeah.
the
I
first
know.
two
Yeah, that's
games,
true.
yeah,
Yeah,
to come out with that performance and
it's a good response. Yeah.
cap it with his
Mhm.
100 goal for Liverpool and a no look goal, of course. He always do those kind of stuff. But yeah, Vardy boy, like he was in the positions, four shots inside the box, three big chances, and he converted none. Of course, he got the assist, he got 5 points, but the way he's throwing chances, I am not gonna, be so skeptical about his chance he's scoring, like, because we know he's quality finisher, right? And that does not go away overnight. So
Mhm.
for him to, I would say that was a bad day at the office, but the fact that he was in the positions, but it was an odd one for Vardy to have those chances and then keep squandering them. But yeah, but you mentioned about Chelsea too. Don't forget that Chelsea got a red card in the first half and then still
They
managed to
did.
win that game
They did.
2-1.
Yeah.
So that was
That was impressive. That was kind of
yeah, that was
impressive.
a great show of character, exactly. And yes,
Yeah. It's like.
and
Mhm.
the chances they had, I think they had very good chances. They created some very good chances. Sterling could have got a hat trick. He hit the post. Kukurea could have got
Mhm.
2 assists. His first goal was exceptional, and the second goal was like 0.9 xg because it was in the mount of the goal. Reece James created a very good pass, a very good cross. The moment he went up, you can see the threat
Yeah.
he
The
poses.
change in dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Always.
it's also important to note that he is kind of nursing an injury because I read that
James.
Rhys James, yeah. I just read that he precaution kind of because he did not train yesterday, and somebody spotted that out. He was not in the training pictures, and today I was chatting with the Chelsea fans, Sonny, on the Kotu Classic group, and then he brought some news that Tuchel said he is kind of a touch and go or something. He's not like he might not risk him, so there is a chance that he might not play this midweek, but hopefully he will be back. I just brought him into my team, which we will talk about later. But yeah, about other games. Do you want to say a thing? I enjoyed the Wolves
Uh,
and Newcastle game. To be honest, I enjoyed it. It was 1-1. Saint Maximin scored a brilliant goal in the final minute of the game. They played very well. Wolves scored the early goal, and then Newcastle were on them all over the game, and then yeah, they deserved their equalizer. Saint Maximin's his goal was exceptional. To be honest.
if he continues this consistency, then I guess he might be like somebody to consider. Because the whole point of Saint Maximin is because he's like past few seasons he's been inconsistent. He's a good player, but in terms of FPL, that consistency, like getting
Was
points
lacking.
every week, was lacking. He
Yeah.
would go on 2, 3, 4 runs, and then that was it for the end of the season. Injuries also happen, and then loss of form. But if he
Speaking
continues this
speaking
way,
of speaking of injury, actually he left the pitch injured with a
see the
hamstring
problem.
injury. So
That's the
there is a
thing.
chance he might not
The,
play the Liverpool game, which will be a
that
big
is the
blow
problem.
for Newcastle.
Yeah, that is the thing with Saint Maximin.
Yeah. Yeah, and finally,
Yeah.
let's say a thing about O2 about Tottenham. Kane scored 2, missed a penalty. It could have been a hat trick for him too. I listened to the fantasy football show on like the fantasy football pod, FPL pod, and somebody who was there, he said Kane was gonna score a hat trick this week. So the moment he scored those 2 and then missed the penalty, it was him I thought of first. Yeah, he got the call, but unfortunately he missed the penalty, and yeah, he almost did got the hat trick.
The curious case that I'm seeing from this, I watch parts of the game, like I keep
Yeah.
watching parts because I obviously can watch the full game. His son seems like something is going on. I don't know, he's lost his confidence, even the way he plays, like, and he keeps on being taken off
Yeah,
around
yeah.
what time was he being taken off?
Yeah, he did. He was off in
Usually,
the second half. Yeah, this is
yeah.
the second game running that he went off for Richarlison because now they have a top quality player on the bench in
Yeah,
Richarlison.
and I
And
don't know
yeah,
what's going on. Maybe it's the competition in place because you would think that Son plays on the left, is it? And Kulusevski plays on the right. And
yeah,
Richarlison's best position, I think, is on the right, if I'm not mistaken.
on
So
the
you
left
would think they back
with Son. Yeah,
on the left.
yeah.
So when they bought Richarlison, I was thinking he was going to replace Kulusevski.
Kulusevski
But
because
apparently,
that's the
he's
easy
not.
one. That's the easy one because if
That's
you
the
are looking at
easiest
the
one, right? Because Son
yeah,
and Kane are like kind of like untouchable, in the
yeah.
team. But I mean, things are becoming rough for him. Honestly, I back him to rediscover his form. Obviously, his son is a
Yeah,
very quality player. But
definitely, he's top
yeah.
quality player. I think, for me, from what I observe in his performances, I see him getting chances, low XG chances, which he will usually bury because he's the best finisher
He's
in the Premier
exceptional
League.
finisher, like the
He's
one of
the
the
best
best
finisher in the Premier League. For
finishers.
me personally,
Yeah.
if I have to choose
Mhm.
one person to be in a position to score a goal,
No
I will
doubt
choose
about it.
his son. I will
No
choose,
doubt.
right?
Mhm.
But I think what he's suffering from right now is fitness. His fitness is
Oh,
not
okay.
there. He's not making the runs that he used to make when they are doing these counter-attacking players. You can see him; he's lacking behind. So I think because it's the start of the season too, sometimes players take time to gel, and maybe he's suffering from that, lack of fitness and maybe lack of proper preseason or something. But
Mm.
yeah, like you say, I also back him to rediscover his form very soon, and yeah. But for now, I think it's better to avoid him in your FPL teams.
Okay.
And
Yeah. So
finally, before we go, because a few sack race, the sack race is already started. The first casualty is Scott Parker after the 9-0 trouble against Liverpool.
wait,
The,
he was fired?
yeah, he was fired. I know you don't know because you just woke up, so you are not aware of. In your sleep, he was fired. But
That was fast.
I don't think he was fired because of they lost against Liverpool 9-0, because in the last 3 games they lost. They played 4 games in the season. One was against Aston Villa, they won, and then the other 3 games was Liverpool, Manchester City, and Arsenal. In games there you expect them to lose, right? So he lost those 3 games. But the fact that he is not happy with his team, with his management, or with his owners, Brentford, if you
Oh,
Bournemouth, if you look at them, they are the team that invested the least among all the teams that get
yeah,
promoted.
yeah. That's
Like,
true. That's true.
like they
Yeah.
have not invested anything, and he is
Mhm.
pointing that out because in his interview, post-game interview against Liverpool, he said like he needs help, the players need help because like they are in the Premier League now, they need to compete and they need to buy players, but unfortunately they have not buy any meaningful sign. They have not made any meaningful signing, and that kind of, I feel he kind of have some disagreement with the owners, and then they decided to part ways rather than they sack him because he was not doing well. I don't think that's
No,
the reason.
like the whole point of being in the Premier League is not for you to just come and make up the numbers. It's for you to come and like stake a claim
Compete,
and try to
yeah,
stay up. You
compete,
understand?
yeah.
It
At
seems
least
like the
you have
way I
something to
don't know much.
compete for. You
Yeah, I
have
don't
to.
know much about Bournemouth and their team, the way it's structured and whatever their owners. But it kind of seems like if you don't make a signing, it's telling the owner or the fans that you're just happy being in the Premier League
Yeah,
for that
exactly.
one season.
Ex-
Because if
ex-
you don't buy players,
exactly. No,
you're not going to
yeah,
stay up.
yeah. You have to show some
Definitely.
intent. You have to show some intent. It's
Yeah.
very, it's very, very,
Look at
it's very, very important.
Nottingham Forest. Apparently, they made about record how many signings? 17 or 18 signings?
Yeah, 18 or 19,
Seriously,
they are crazy.
19 now.
But that's crazy. 19 signings, they
I
have
mean,
completely changed their scope. But that it's quite too much. I like the fact that they are showing intent, but you have to
mhm.
sign responsibly. All those 19 players for what? Yeah, to be honest. But if they stay in the Premier League, is good. But 19 signing, you had 11 players who played last season, and you have some bench players. So you have to blend it and gel it, right? You have to blend it.
I mean, obviously, it doesn't work to just buy 19 players and expect them all to gel in that season, obviously. But I mean, it shows that they are trying to do something different, right? They're trying to stay.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think they will find it tough, obviously, but at some point in the season, they will click and then they will start getting results because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
bought quality players. All these players that they bought are really good players,
yeah,
in my opinion.
they really they bought
Yeah,
quality. If you look at Lingard,
Dennis.
Awani, Dennis, and
Yeah,
they just signed Lodi from Atletico Madrid, a very good left back. They signed Neco Williams from Liverpool. They signed, like I said, Lingard, and also they Gibbs White from Wolves. They just signed in Bolly, centre back from Wolves too. He's coming, so they are struggling defensively. So Bolly will, I'm sure he will improve their defense very well. They signed Henderson from Man United. He already saved 2 penalties this season. This week he saved Harry Kane's penalty as well. So 2 penalties. That's very good. Yeah. But also other teams that could be very close to like the sack is Steven Gerrard at Aston Villa, Lampard at
yeah.
Everton. These two
They have
managers,
been
I think
woeful.
they are the next casualties. These two, one of them will be the next one because they're
Aston
not doing
Villa, they
well.
have been woeful, to be honest, unrecognizable from the last season. Anyways,
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
okay, so it's time to move on now. Looking at team sheets for
Our
Game Week
results.
4 to see how
Mhm.
well we do. Since now, this is like we're all on on par now. We are now doing well, so hopefully we kick on from this point.
Yeah, that's your
Starting
team.
with my
Go ahead.
team.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I had 78 points all out. The average was 62. But it's funny enough, when I started well in the first day of the game week, and then the average was really low at 34. So I was on 60 something. I was like, wow, this is good, like 60 something points or 20 something points away from the average, which is something that you always want. You want to be further away from the average so that your rank can increase. But then as the game started being played, other games, you start seeing that the average started rising. I was like, this is not good. I wanted it to stay that way. But since it was a very high average for this week, 62, which is pretty high, 78 is fine. I don't think there's anything much I can do with this. So looking at my team, I had Mendy in goal with 3 points. Trent is back, full swing with 17. Cancelo with 1. Gabriel with the goal with 9 points. James with 7 points with the assist. Captain Salah with 6, underwhelming. Martinelli with 2. Luis Diaz with 14. Bailey, who is on his way out, my team soon, with 1 point. Gabriel Jesus, I don't know what's going on there, but he didn't have a really good game with 1 point. And then Haaland, who I think, in hindsight, obviously, hindsight is always 2020, should have been my captain with 17 points. So yeah, the bench, I think the bench, I got it spot on. And there's Pereira with 2, and then Nico Williams with 1, and Archer with 1. So not too bad. Give me a rank of 1.4 million, and then my overall rank right now is 927,000.
Great. Great,
Yeah,
great. That was a solid one. Yeah, like I say, me too. I finally get a decent game week under my belt. So 81 points all out. That was like pretty, refreshing for me. Yeah, after suffering a lot in the first 3 game weeks. So Sanchez in goal I had with 8 points. Cucurella, Walker, and Trent. Trent, of course, there were a lot of exodus of Trent after having, first 3 bad game weeks. But yeah, there was no
surprise.
chance. There was no chance.
People
uh,
are crazy, man. Honestly.
yeah, and then Salah captain. Yeah, that was that was the right decision, I think. But yeah, it did not
Definitely.
work out. Martinelli with 2 points. Pascal Gross, he keeps delivering for my team. He has been a very very good servant for my team. Kulusevski as well with his 6 pointer, and then up top Mitrovic. I was really pleased with him with his goal, and then Haaland 17, and Jesus 81 points all out. 1.1 million game week rank, and yeah, I jumped from 6 million to 4 million. That was a solid 4 point something million, so that was a solid rise. So hopefully I kick on from there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's it. We can move on to the manager of the week and
Kotu
the
Classic Manager of the Week.
yeah
96. Wow. Uh, Lausanne Hill, members
Lausanne Hill
only.
members only.
96 points all out.
Yeah,
Overall points 275 and overall rank of 245,000. It's flying, boy.
yeah, doing well.
Let's look at his team. Who
Yeah,
does he have in his team?
he has Mendy like yourself, and Captain Trent, which was huge, 17 points, and
There you go.
Cancelo, Reece James, and Gabriel in make the back four, and you have Salah. Udegaard with another 10 that was huge too. Udegaard, we should talk about. Rodrigo with the 2 pointers, and San Maximin with 9 points. You can see his yellow flag already. And then up top, he had the usual, which is Jesus and Haaland. I think this is the template right now. So that was a
Mm-hmm.
solid week for Lausanne Hill. Members only. He's from UK. Our first manager of the week from the UK, which is solid. So congratulations, Lausanne Hill.
Maybe, sorry if you butcher your name. Maybe it's Lausanne also. Who knows? But
Oh,
congratulations for
yeah,
being the manager of the.
Mr. Hill. Let's call him Mr. Hill.
Yeah, Mr. Hill. Yeah. You said you want to talk about Odegaard.
Yeah, we can. To be honest, his performance was very solid again. He got the goal. Of course, it was a low XG shot because it's a deflected shot. But he used to be that player where it's all about the creativity. But now he has
Mm-hmm.
added goals into his game. 3 goals in the last 2 games, 6.5 million. He's at a very good price. Considering Martinelli and Jesus are the kind of the template in the league. So the third Arsenal asset, of course, defensively Arsenal are looking very good. So Gabriel, even Zinchenko, but unfortunately he was injured in the game, and the goalkeeper Ramsdale, they are all good options. But Udegaard now have a very strong claim for the third Arsenal player because
Mm-hmm.
Saka has been underwhelming so far this season. So
Yeah, very
Udegaard is
honorable.
somebody we really need to consider. And he almost played at 90 minutes every single time, captain of the team. So yeah, maybe this is the season where he scores a lot of goals, and at 6.5 million he could be a bargain. That's just what I wanted to say.
Who knows? I might even transfer from what's this guy's name? From
Bailey,
not really Martinelli to him because
Martinelli, but that
I already have three Arsenal players anyway. So
yeah, but
I
for
gotta
me
I
for me
gotta
personally, I cannot. Yeah, Martinelli is much better asset than Odegaard in my opinion, because of the positions they take. Odegaard is more of a David Silva. Martinelli is more of a Phil Foden. How can I like explain it because Phil Foden will always be in the box doing something. Sometimes Odegaard is more in the middle doing the midfield stuff, which is very good for Arsenal, controlling the tempo of the game. But in FPL terms, Martinelli is the much better option because he's always running behind. He was exceptional in that game, to be honest. I cannot understand why he did not. I cannot believe he did not get any attacking return. He got all the chances in that game. Unfortunately, he did not return. But yeah, that is it. That's FPL for you, man.
Okay, looking at the Kotu Classic top five. In fifth, we have Stranger Inks. No movement there. Moving up to fourth is Chibuzo Oko. In third, we have Pratik Aurora. And in
Yeah, that name.
second, Adeluin Esan. And then still in first, no change, is Mohamed Damfa.
Yeah, raising
So
the Gambian flag. Yeah, that's my man.
he's doing
this
really well this season.
yeah,
So a
this
very
league
good
was
start.
made in the Gambia, so it will be so it will be very very unfortunate to see other flags at the top. But
Yeah.
good Mohamed Damfa, awareness FC. He's very aware. That's why he's at the top. So all good, man.
Okay, so moving on to Game Week 5. I think we combined the two Game Week 5 and Game Week 6 preview.
Yeah,
So
we
we'll
start with
talk
Game Week
about
5
Game Week
fixtures.
5 first. Yeah. So these are the fixtures for those people that are actually listening. What are the ones that jump out to you, to be
Yeah,
honest, in terms of FPL?
Liverpool and Man City every week, regardless of who they play, they kind of jump out, right? Because of the assets they have in their team. But especially in weeks where they have the better fixtures, Newcastle is not an easy fixture per se.
No, right now, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you look at their numbers too, they have been conceding a lot of chances. Only one team has conceded more big chances than Newcastle in the league, and that is Leicester City, who have been woeful defensively this season. So, but then to caveat that, don't forget Newcastle play Manchester City in the subsequent game when they considered 7 big chances in that game. That is more than half of what they considered. They considered 13 big chances. 7 was considered against Manchester City. So the other 6 was considered in the other games. So maybe you can put that one aside because it's Manchester City. But then now it's Liverpool, right? Another team that creates a lot of big chances. Another team that creates a lot of chances. So yeah, Newcastle is difficult, but Liverpool is a superior team. And playing at Anfield, you would expect Liverpool to do a job there. Manchester City play Nottingham Forest. They have been woeful defensive. They have been the worst defensive team in terms of XG considered. Their goalkeeper has been exceptional. That is the Manchester United goalkeeper. He has been the best goalkeeper in the league so far this season because of the chances he faced and the saves that he has been making. So Man City will create. Now it depends on how good they with their finishing there and how good under Henderson is on that day. But still, Manchester City might be too much for
It
them.
doesn't matter how good they are. Like honestly, unless the team defends really well,
Yeah,
in addition to the keeper being exceptional, Man City will score.
yeah,
That's fixed. Yeah, Arsenal Aston Villa is going to be an interesting one. This
yeah,
might be like Gerrard's final game in charge if he doesn't do well against Arsenal because I haven't watched any of their games, to be honest. I don't want to be biased or prejudiced, but then I feel like the way Arsenal is playing right now, it's going to take a lot for Aston Villa to have a result in this game.
yeah,
And Arsenal is playing at home. So it's
yeah,
one of the games I considered as captaincy is this one, Man City and Liverpool. Because Arsenal on this form right now against anyone, you can make a case for them being like for Gabriel Jesus being a captaincy option, to be honest.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that's the game I'm looking forward
Definitely,
to.
I cannot agree more with you. Of course, Aston Villa is my manager there, Steven Gerrard, my favorite player of all time. But as a manager, I still doubt. I'm still reserved
Yeah.
with his managerial, skill set or something like that. He started the season with a headline. First, he stripped off his captain of the captaincy. The next thing is he benched this player. The next game he started the same player, and all of a sudden the center back he signed, he's out for the whole season. Now that captain or that player becomes very important in his squad. So there's been a lot of headlines in that team. And the Villa fans have not taken it lightly. They have not been impressed with his performances, and they are not getting the results, which is very bad. And now you are going
Yeah.
to play against an Arsenal team who has been on top form, 4 games,
I mean, it's
wins, playing
pressure. Talk about
at
pressure.
Emirates. It's gonna be a very very tough game. It will be very hard, like you say, for Aston Villa to get anything in this game. And it's not beyond the realms of reality to consider the Arsenal players for captaincy, especially Gabriel Jesus. He hasn't done it in the last 2 games, but it's Jesus. He's gonna get chances. He has shown us that he's a very good player. Even though he did not score last game, he was very busy. He was doing his
Hmm.
things. He just did not get the points. And as you know, personally, like the points is just secondary for me. It's about the performance, what they do in the game, and stuff like that. And yeah, if Man City and Liverpool did not have these good fixtures, Arsenal would have been a team I would consider, but because of the top assets from those teams. But yeah, it's a tough game for them, and your boys to have a very interesting game against Leicester. Leicester needs a result. They haven't get any win so far, one draw, and they also have been in a very negative kind of state around them because they have not made any proper signing. There are players here
Yeah.
and there are wanting to
That's
leave and
true.
things like that. Brendan Rodgers is mourning here and there. And now they play you guys at home at Leicester and Man United. To be honest, at the moment you are in cloud nine. You just won against Liverpool. You just won against Southampton. You just made a very huge, massive signing in
Yeah,
Casemiro and and
definitely.
and,
That's
and
gonna
Anthony.
be
So
a
right now,
boost.
yeah, like, everything is everybody is boosted at United. So it will be a very interesting game to see.
Defensively, I don't think Leicester is there. Like, even though they're not known for their defense,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
right now they're losing one of their youngest players. I'm not sure whether it's been confirmed yet,
Yeah,
but
he's doing
the
medical today
instability in the
actually.
team because of the loss of a defender who's meant to be like your prime, what do you call it again, talent in
Yeah,
defense. Fofana is a really good player and is thought of as one player to watch in the future.
definitely.
I feel like with everything going on, like you said, it might be an easier game for Man United. And the fact that Vardy is not really doing very well right now, they're not scoring goals. That's the thing; they're not scoring. I mean, they're scoring goals, but not the strikers and the attackers scoring as many goals as possible. They're not on form, as I can say. So I think it's up to us to lose, even though it's Leicester. They might decide to just turn up for this one game and then give us a
Yeah,
problem. But hopefully, I hope we win.
yeah,
So
definitely. And also, Spurs and West Ham is a derby game. Tottenham have been doing very well. 4 wins,
West
three
Ham.
wins, three wins and one draw. Yeah, West Ham finally they started their season because they played last week against Aston Villa. Of course, it was Aston Villa who have been woeful. They play away to Aston Villa. They control them. Aston Villa did not have a lot of chances. Of course, they had a goal ruled
Mhm.
out for like the corner. It was in, but because the ball went out of play or something like that. But they look decent in that game. They kept the clean sheet. And Spurs, impressive. They have not been the attacking Spurs we want to see, but they are winning
Mhm.
professionally 2-0 here and
They are
there,
winning.
1-0, getting the results that they want to get. Yeah, that is an interesting one there to see. Kane and Son, we are not paying too much attention because of the options we have like Haaland and stuff like that. But yeah, it could be a
Kane is
very
doing the business. Yeah,
he's doing the
he's
business.
ticking
Four
along.
goals.
For the first time in a long time, he scored in August, which they keep saying that he's
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for me,
doesn't score
those
in August.
yeah,
The hoodoo has
yeah,
been broken because he scored how many goals now
he
in
already
August?
have 4 goals in August. Yeah, that is just
So what
coincidence.
else?
Yeah,
What else is there?
yeah.
Another
He's
game that
Everton.
I'm watching.
Huh?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the one I was gonna mention. It's another game I'm looking forward to because initially I was planning to bring in Rodrigo, but recency bias. He didn't score in the game, so
yeah,
obviously wasn't in my thinking. But
yeah,
Everton have been woeful and Leeds have been exceptional, even though they lost against Brighton, who I believe is the better
yeah,
team. But I think I'm gonna keep an eye on this game and see how well Rodrigo and what's this guy's name? Harrison, how well they do in this game. I'm really thinking of bringing in one, even though you can't get all the good players. But let's see how it goes. It's gonna
yeah,
be an
yeah,
interesting game.
yeah. That's a good one. And yeah, Everton too. Likewise, Gordon. I think his move to Chelsea is kind of off. Chelsea are not gonna buy him anymore. But
Oh,
he's
okay.
he's some he's somebody we need to keep an eye on. He was very impressive in their last game.
He's,
Did
he played at false nine, I think. It's
Yeah,
false
yeah,
nine position.
he scored their goal and then Brentford equalized later. He was very impressive in that game and his numbers were very very impressive. Like over the course of the season, he's up there with the top players. Like I think he's having better numbers than Salah. You don't usually hear that, but he's having better numbers at the moment than Salah. When I checked, but I must confirm that is his underlying numbers. He's taking a lot of shots and stuff like that. So yeah, he's a player we need to keep an eye on. He's just 5.5 million. Yeah, it's interesting. They play Leeds. Leeds are not the Leeds we used to know, that league Leeds.
Oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Are
so
they
so so
solid
it's
all around?
yeah
Okay, so move to game week 6 fixtures. Also, one thing I forgot to mention,
Uh-huh.
since there are 2 games in succession, game week 5 midweek, and then the weekend also we have another game. I believe there's going to be a lot of rotation risk, even though it's early enough in the season
Yeah.
that we might not, but I'm still thinking that big teams like Man City, obviously, the Haalands, there might be a lot of rotation there. So it's going to
Yeah.
be tricky. Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
know how it's going to go, but it's going to be tricky,
Yeah,
honestly.
definitely, especially Manchester City. I think because it's Pep,
Mhm.
he like to overthink. He say so.
Options are there. Yeah.
Let's expect a lot of overthinking from his side. Yeah, definitely. We can move on to fixtures for game week um 6, and this is how they look.
Yeah.
Any
Or the
any
derby. This is the first one, the Everton Liverpool derby.
yeah. That's gonna kick it off. The Merseyside derby, and then it's gonna be close by
It's
the
like,
Manchester United Arsenal. That's the old farm rivalry.
oh, I did not see this one. No, this is gonna this is gonna be on a Monday. Can they do it on a Monday night, on a cold Monday night in the theater of dreams? Well, it's gonna be interesting. This is gonna be, I feel like, a test.
It's actually Sunday, but Monday in Japan. So yeah,
Oh, Monday in Japan. Okay,
yeah.
it's gonna be a test to see how far we have come as a team, honestly, and let's see how it goes. I'm a bit confident, honestly. I'm a bit confident, but it's
Yeah,
Arsenal, and Arsenal
usually
is
at
different.
home, Man United usually, regardless of the team, I think they usually do well against Arsenal at home.
Mm.
And yeah,
It's
so
a different Arsenal, though. It's a different Arsenal.
it's a different Arsenal. Yeah, that's true. But I
Yeah.
think
So
the standard fixture in this week is gonna be Tottenham, Fulham. I know Fulham is not an easy fixture, but they
hmm.
concede goals. It's just that they score goals. They are very impressive going forward. They defense decently, I would say, but they are not the top defense. And Tottenham playing at home against Fulham. It's a derby too because it's London. Both teams are in London, so it's gonna be a derby. Otherwise, there is no really standout fixture because if you look at Manchester City, they go to Aston Villa. Aston Villa are struggling, but again, Aston Villa, they are playing at home. It will be tight. Man City might win the game, but it might not be like a free flow where you expect a lot of goals flying here and there. But Man City might win that game. And then you look at Manchester United, Arsenal. It's a tough fixture for both teams. You look at Liverpool. They are closest rivals, which is Everton. So it's never easy. Chelsea, they play West Ham. It's not easy. It's another London
Yeah,
derby. So there is no
that is
standard
gonna be a
fixture
tough
except
game.
Tottenham. And then
I
the key Tottenham assets, we don't have them. No one have them right now. What do you think there?
I believe Man City Aston Villa is going to be one of those games. Like, you can't miss it. Aston Villa have been awful,
They
right?
have been,
If
to be
it's
honest.
not Aston Villa of last season where they were challenging or getting this the surprise results.
Yeah.
They have been woeful, and you never know. Maybe by this time they would have gotten rid of their coach,
Yeah,
and
maybe
then
it's
things
possible.
might be a bit like all over the place right now. Their heads might be turned. So I think this the fixture to consider in this game week is going to be
Yeah.
Man City Aston Villa, 100%.
Yeah, and you know what? Aston Villa, they have to play Arsenal and Manchester City, and they have already been struggling. It's gonna be a very tough
Yeah,
week.
so can you imagine that?
It's gonna be a really tough week
It's
for Aston Villa. But yeah,
they're not
like
gonna
I
get.
say, I would expect Man City to win. To be honest, I would expect Man City to
Mm.
win the game. But I'm just saying, I would not expect them to, be flying
To score like 5 or 6.
score 4 or 5 goals. I think they Aston Gerard kind of respect these teams, and he will go kind of set up in a defensive way,
Mm.
with them on the
Okay,
counter.
that
It's not
that that
a,
I understand.
last season they lost to them 3-2 in the final game of the season. Of course, because Man City were desperate to win the league at that point in time. Aston Villa took a 2-0 lead before Manchester City turned the result around, just like they did against Crystal Palace. I know Manchester, when they are in their groove or when they are in full flow, it's very difficult for any team to compete against them. So yeah, Aston Villa will struggle, but I'm not seeing like a throbbing, like a lot of goals. But I will expect Man City to win, to be honest. But yeah, you never know.
You never know. Yeah, I guess you're right. Those are the results that kind of stand out. Brentford Leeds might be a tough one because Brentford is not they're very solid all around. And Leeds also have been solid. They changed the way they play.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it might be a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, or somebody just edge it
Edged. Yeah.
slightly. Yeah,
Yeah.
1-1 or 2-1 or something like that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
maybe Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, because two relegation, like two promoted teams. Bournemouth with Parker gone, they have like Neil, Gary O'Neill as their caretaker manager. Nottingham Forest, they have started the league decently, not great, but they have started decently, and they play at home. So this is a game that they will expect to win because they are
To win,
competing
yeah.
against. So that could be an interesting game. But how many managers? Maybe Nico Williams, like I think he's in a lot of teams, so maybe it's a good game. By the way, he is doing very well defensively. I think he's like his numbers are much better than any defender, including Trent's. I'm telling you, like he's doing he's very impressive in terms of like chances, in terms of creativity. He has created a lot of chances. I think he created the most number of chances among all defenders in the game. But defensively, they are very bad. They concede a lot of chances. So you don't expect to have a clean sheet from him. But don't be
Maybe an
surprised if
attacking return soon,
yeah,
yeah.
there could be an attacking return. So yeah, he could be a player to target for that particular game week. To be honest, if you have him, I think you gotta start him for that one.
Yeah.
Others, Crystal
I think
Palace.
that's about it. Honestly,
Yeah,
yeah.
Newcastle Crystal Palace
Which
is
other
the
one?
same level, right? It's gonna be a tight game because both teams are good. I think it's the same power, Newcastle and Crystal Palace. So it's difficult to call that one.
I don't expect much from that game, to be honest. Not a free flowing game or like a weaker team, but as a stronger team. They're in the same level, like you said. And I think
E-
most of
e-
these games are going to be tight, man. Most of them are going
exactly.
to be tight.
Wolves, Southampton. Wolves don't score a lot. Um, so it's not you don't expect a lot there. Maybe a 1-0 win for Wolves or something like that. Brighton, Leicester. Likewise, you don't expect Leicester concede chances. Brighton have been impressive, but like you say, all round impressive. Not like they will blow teams away with 5-0 or 3-0, but you will expect them to win maybe 1-0 or 2-0 in
2-0,
that
yeah.
fixture. Yeah, but otherwise, I think it's the Tottenham game. What's your plan with Tottenham boys for that particular game week?
I can't fit them in where they need to be very like uh they need to be very impressive for me to get one because right now there's so many options that are doing much better. Even Kane is expensive. Son obviously is a no go right now based on his price. I cannot bring in Kane because I have Haaland. There's no way I'm going to switch the two because one plays in a much better team than the other, even though Tottenham are impressive.
Yeah.
So like right now, maybe defense possibly. I might try and see what I can find there, but honestly, I'm not really looking at Tottenham. This
Perisic.
is the truth about it.
He could have had another haul, this weekend because he won the penalty that Hurricane missed. So if Hurricane scored that
True.
penalty, he would have had another assist, which could have been very impressive. And he started back-to-back games, but again, like you pointed out, rotation could be an issue, and he's an aging player, so
Yeah,
he
they
might
need to
be
manage
rotated.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but one thing I want to point, right? If I still had my wild card, I do crazy stuff. This is a game I will see as an opportunity because nobody is having Tottenham players, and they have the best fixture in this particular game week. And I'm telling you, like if you have Kane in this game, even Son, like I will not be afraid to captain him in this particular game week. Like in this particular game week, because who is the standard player to captain? Haaland against Aston Villa. Aston Villa play away. I would rather captain Son or Kane over
Place at
Haaland
home, yeah.
in this particular fixture, in this particular game week. So if I had my wild card, I will not be afraid to take out one of my big hitters. It's not gonna be Haaland, maybe Salah, I don't know, and maybe bring in a crazy
You-
player, and then
you-
eventually the following game week, if it does not work out, the following game week I do the wild card, because
you-
don't forget that the season is very short. Like game week 16, everybody is targeting like around game week 8 to do the
Doing
wild card.
9, 8,
Game
yeah,
week
to
8,
wild card,
and
yeah.
what happens? I look at the fixtures. Like I try to look over the long period. Like when I looked at the fixtures over that particular period, when it gets to game week 9, only the smaller teams have the good fixtures. The Brentfords, the Crystal Palaces, and the Bournemouths, the Fulhams. Look like very low, like low expected, like low scoring teams are having the good fixture. The Manchester Cities, the Liverpools, and the Tottenhams, they are all gonna have difficult fixture. So if you work at that point, where do you go? Are you gonna fill your team with the small players, some small teams? Of course not. Nobody's gonna go there. We're still gonna have the Manchester City players. We're still gonna have the Liverpool players. We're still gonna have the Tottenham players, the Manchester United players. But all these teams, if you look at their fixtures from game week 9 to game week 16, it's not great. So for that reason, if you work at that point, where are you going?
I mean, it's a wild card, so I mean, you don't expect much from those small teams because based on results.
Yeah.
But the big teams are big teams for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Even though they might have 1 or 2, 3, 4, or 1 or 2, 3 difficult games, but one of those games, can be like a high scoring game. You understand? Like, honestly, I haven't looked at the fixtures.
Yeah.
because things are going great. You know, when things are going great, you don't worry about stuff.
Yeah,
So you don't have
for
to
me,
do
for me, I'm a different type of, I'm a different breed of manager. I am all like once the deadline is hit, I'm already
this.
thinking about what I'm gonna do next. Like right now, I was even actually thinking about game week 6, not game week 5, because game week 5 I'm already set on what I'm doing and I did that already. So that's not my headache anymore. So now it's just waiting for the results. But yeah, I if I was on the wild card, to be honest, I will consider taking the opportunity of the because I'm an opportunistic manager. I try to take these opportunities. That is what I tried to do at the start of the season. Go with the double Tottenham, Kane and Son. It did not work out, but I will do it again because that's the type of manager I am. And yeah,
Yeah, so moving on to our teams. Obviously, we
yeah,
can't do game week 6 because we don't know what things will happen and the changes will
yeah.
make. But
I
we'll
was
talk
before we
about
go to go to our team. I just opened the fixture ticker from the Fantasy Football Hub from game week 9 to game week 16 when the World Cup start, and the top team in terms of ranking, Bournemouth. Second, Crystal Palace. Third, West Ham. Fourth, Fulham. Fifth, Leicester. Sixth, then you have Manchester City. Understand? Then you have Liverpool. And you see, so when you work out at that point, it's the same players you want to get. And those are the players you have right now. That's how I see it. So then what are you work hard into?
but then we might not even play the wild card if that's the
Exactly.
case.
Then you might not
What's
even
the
need
point
it.
of
So
playing it? Yeah.
if that's the case, you might not need the wildcard. If you conclude that maybe I might not even need the wildcard, why
Yeah.
not you plan it
That's the
now
point. Yeah.
and then fix it just and then try to take some opportunities along the way. That is the way I'm thinking, anyways. But I'm not on a wildcard. I'm just trying to put that idea out there for anybody.
Mhm.
You just for like food for thought, kind of.
It's a good plan to be honest. I think it gives people a lot to think about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it. Yeah. So moving on to our teams for game week. Sorry, the captaincy ticker. Let's talk about the captaincy ticker. CMT.
Yeah,
But
this week it
captaincy
didn't do it.
ticker
This week it
this week.
didn't do well, right? Because Salah did Salah things. Liverpool scored
Yeah.
nine
So the
nine
second
goals, and
choice.
Salah did not give us anything. But at least number 2 was Haaland, and Haaland did
Mhm.
deliver. Arsenal, Saka,
Yeah.
and Jesus, they did not deliver. Sterling, he did deliver with 2 goals.
He did.
So
He did.
that
Yeah.
was, yeah. And then you have Kane and Son, they also did deliver. Cristiano, Bruno did deliver. Chris was not there. But yeah, it was not a great week because the top asset, which everybody, almost every FPL manager, their dog and their cat, everybody captain Salah, and and it failed. But yeah, going into game week 5, I think there is also a standout captaincy, and that is Haaland or KDB. But there, especially with Haaland, the problem is rotation because Pep has
Mm.
already said it. When the game starts to get thick and fast, Haaland might not start every game. So if it is sensible, if it is like to rest him, maybe it is sensible to rest him against Nottingham Forest or start him when Man City are cruising, then take him out.
Take
So
him
in
out.
that
Yeah.
case, is he gonna be the player that we want to captain? But
That is
he's
the reason
he,
why I'm
but
thinking elsewhere. But
yeah,
yeah.
but he and KDB, I think you cannot get anything better than them if they give you the 90 minutes in this particular game week, but which we cannot guarantee because of Pep Guardiola. And the second
Yeah.
option is Salah, of course,
Which one is
Salah
Salah?
against
Yeah.
Newcastle. So, which is, I think, top 2 are solid options. And like you say, you mentioned Jesus, number 3. I still have not updated this because it has to be Saka or Jesus. But well, it has to be Jesus now because he's the most expensive player and he's the form player. And then you have Sterling against Southampton and Zaha against Brentford. But he was injured in the last game, so I'm not sure if he will be back. But
Might be back. Yeah. Let's
Bamford
see.
too against Everton, but he is also injured. So what are
So
you
that's
thinking?
Rodrigo. That changes to Rodrigo.
Yeah, what are you thinking before we move to game week 6?
I mean, this is fine. One or two might switch. Obviously, if Haaland doesn't start,
Yeah,
most possibly the best option might be Salah. So it might be either or. The top 2 is always a gamble depending on where you're thinking.
yeah.
But yeah, I think I agree with all these options to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And then it's either like, but you are thinking Arsenal. I'm not really thinking Arsenal. It's either Haaland or Salah for me, 100%. Um, mhm,
For me, I'm thinking Arsenal because
Arsenal.
number one, Haaland might be rested. He might play the game and miss game week 6,
Yeah,
depending on how Pep wants to do it. The next thing, Salah, Newcastle might be a difficult game for them, even though we know Salah might be struggling slightly.
uh-huh.
So I've captained him 3, 4, 5 times or 3 times. I don't know in the past.
It's
I
not
don't know how
worth it,
many
huh?
games. Yeah, but I'm just trying to see like my best route to points right now. And Arsenal play are exceptional.
Okay.
Aston Villa is struggling. Arsenal play at home.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good shout, to be honest. To be honest, but
So
for
it's yeah, I'm right now my boss team captaincy is on
on Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
also, I would like to point out something. Maybe listeners will not know. Newcastle, they have been suffering also with a few injuries. Like I mentioned, San Maximin got the hamstring injury. Trippier is also a doubt for the game. Uh, and Wilson is also out for the game. So they have been suffering. And Bruno Guimaraes is also out. He did not play in the midweek in the weekend game, so he could be out also. So they have been suffering with a few injuries here and there. So I don't know if that works for Salah or what, but I still see Liverpool as the superior team, and Liverpool playing at Anfield. And to be honest, we need the result. After having that woeful start in the first three games, we need results right now, and we need them to come in. We had the one against Bournemouth, so I'm gonna back my boys to to beat Newcastle. We are better than them, to be honest. So we should be winning them, but of course, Newcastle are not the easiest. Okay, next.
looking at game week 6, we have Kane Son versus Fulham. Salah, Everton is the must-side derby. Third option, Sterling versus West Ham. Fourth, Haaland, Aston Villa versus Man City. I believe this is supposed to be somewhere in first and second. But anyways,
Yeah.
then Tony
Uh,
versus Leeds, and then Jimenez versus Southampton. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think we pointed that like this also a standout one for Tottenham because
Mm-hmm.
they have the best fixture in this week. Even though everything might be okay for Salah, but you never know
I
because
think so. I think
it's
Salah
a
is a
derby.
better option for Everton. Yeah.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think Kane and Son are completely ahead of him for this particular game week 6. So for me, if I could find a way, I would really, go there, but I cannot. It's so hard to go there, especially I don't have a wild card. But if I had the wild card, it is something I will consider very, very much. If I still had my wild card, to be honest, I'm just saying that.
Okay. All right. So moving to our teams. This is final teams
Yeah,
transfers that we've made so far.
yeah. For me
So
personally, I had two free transfer coming into the game week, and two easy ones. I brought in Reece James, who I have been admiring for a very long time. So finally, I brought him into my team, and Luis Diaz, because I think the balance of Diaz, Trent, and Salah is the best balance for to have the triple Liverpool. So even though I still have my skepticism about Diaz because of the positions he take, the chances he have, he got the 14 pointer in the midweek or in the weekend. Salah get zero. Salah had better attacking numbers than him. Salah had 4 shots. Diaz had 2 shots, and those were the 2 headers he scored. And how many times is he going to be scoring from a corner kick? How many times is he going to be scoring headers? So all those things come to my mind. And in terms of creativity, he did not create much. He was mostly taking on people. He's still a very good player for Liverpool, but in terms of the instinct to be running behind, to be scoring those goals, yes, he scored one of those goals by running behind. The first goal he scored for Liverpool, that was that the header. He ran behind and scored. But he don't do it like regular enough for me to trust him. But in terms of balance, I think that's the best balance. So that's my transfer. Luis Diaz is in, James is in. And my team will look like this: Sanchez in goal, Trent, Walker, and James in defense. Salah, Martinelli, Luis Diaz, and Gross in the middle, and then you have Haaland, Jesus, and Mitrovic up top. Of course, James might be unavailable, so in case he does not play, Cucurella will come in for him, which I
it's a
still
good
feel
backup. Yeah.
comfortable with. How about you? How is your team looking?
I made a controversial transfer.
Yeah,
Cancelo is out. I don't think I need to be convinced about this. I was saying that having Trent and Cancelo is not giving me the numbers. Like the backup being, I have a wild card. I can bring him back if he decides to punish me.
yeah.
So Cancelo is out. Veltman is in, but he's already been flagged. So I don't know. And then up top, I used that money and upgraded my striker to Tony. So I
Mm-hmm.
have three up top right now. So my team looks like this: Mendy in goal, Trent, Gabriel, James, midfield Salah, Martinelli, Luis Diaz, Andreas, and then up top Haaland, Jesus, and then Tony.
Mm-hmm. I have a few
So
comments on your team though.
yeah, make it. Give me the comments. Let me see how I can address them as quickly as
Yeah, no,
possible.
no, of course, it will be hard to address at the moment. But what I think, yeah, I like even though I've been butchering Cancelo all this while, I just feel a game week where he plays Nottingham Forest at home. I think it's a game week too early to sell him. That's my opinion. And
I
Chris,
mean,
you no, and because you made a double change, right? That is Velman and Antony. Antony don't have the easiest fixture. He played Crystal Palace away,
yeah,
so
it's not easy.
so it
Yeah.
was it was a week where maybe one transfer and then save another one. That was if I was in your
The,
shoes.
the thing is, I had to make the transfer because number one, the price points. I could have, the transfer I should have made was Mendy to Sanchez. But
Yeah,
looking at that, if I want, like, I had two transfers. You understand? So I couldn't make that transfer only because I didn't have that the option to upgrade my striker. So I
yeah,
needed to downgrade a defender as expensive as Cancelo to be able to do
yeah,
that move. Either
yeah,
him or somebody in my midfield like Bailey would have been upgraded to Rodrigo, but Rodrigo didn't do well. Like I said, recency bias. I didn't want to really bring him in.
yeah.
So it had to be Tony. I looked at Tony's fixtures. It was good apart from Crystal Palace. The
Uh,
fixtures are better than all this. I think most of the strikers, apart from the Crystal Palace game. The next one, few games are going to be better, and I think that he will do well.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you just mentioned a very good route to go to that, in my opinion, because Mendy to Sanchez. Of course, now the time has gone to do that, but I'm just
yeah, it's yeah,
my
obviously.
general view. Yeah, like Mendy to Sanchez, and then save the one transfer, and then you have two next week, and then next week
Mm-hmm.
then you have, don't forget, you will have Cancelo who would have played against Nottingham Forest, and then you have another. Then you can bring Cancelo. You can get rid of Cancelo and Tony and somebody else, and then you can bring Tony and the other player. Yeah,
Maybe he was rash, but
yeah.
I was just fed up with Cancelo to be honest. He just wanted him out of it.
Was it a rate transfer?
Rich, it was a rich transfer, yes, rich transfer.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Okay, anyway, we've come to the end of the pod. Surely we had to just rush, but it was a good one. Hopefully we have 2 game weeks, midweek and then the weekend to cover. Hopefully by then we record the next one, we will have some Cancelo mishaps.
Yeah, yeah. Some Cancelo confession. I always do that, right?
But yeah, thank you guys for always listening and supporting the pod. We are the Kotu Classic FPL podcast. Chama.
Yeah. All right, guys. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and please like the video if you enjoy what we do. And yeah, we will catch you guys on the next one, which will be next week after 2 game weeks. Let's see how these 2 game weeks pan out. And yeah, may your arrows be green. And yeah, may I have another plus 50 points.
Okay, guys. Take care and have a good one. May your arrows be green, like Chama says, and catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.